First, a little bit about Cirrus Link. Cirrus Link is a solely software company. It doesn't do integration, doesn't do any hardware like Opto22 does. It's very good. It was founded in 2012 by Chris Houghton and Arlen Nipper. Its core focus when Cirrus Link was started was to focus on bringing MQTT connectivity back to the OT world. And this is kind of ideal because as Arlen Nipper is our co-founder and our CTO, he is the co-inventor of MQTT. And then in 2015, we came upon a lucky arrangement with Inductive Automation, where we became a strategic partner with Inductive Automation to enable the Ignition platform to utilize MQTT technology in delivering system solutions for that purpose. On this, there's really three basic core modules that Cirrus Link offers. The first one is the MQTT transmission module. This module runs at the edge like on the Opto Groove Epic or Epic Groove and basically transforms your ignition data, ignition tags, ignition UDTs into MQTT spark plug information, which I'll talk about spark plug here in a little bit. Its main focus is to connect to your MQTT server, publish that data off. It also has the capability of doing store and forward without requiring a historian. So if there is a failure on the network connection as an outbound push to a broker, or if your primary ignition application goes offline, it has store and forward capabilities to store all the data that's being changed at the edge until the failure is corrected. The second module is the MQTT Distributor module. So as MQTT is a pub-sub architecture, you need a kind of a post office or a message delivering mechanism that's called the MQTT server or MQTT broker. Now, there are those in the marketplace that you can buy standalone. We sell one called Chariot. There's open source ones. There's other companies like HiveMQ that make them. But in most systems, what we're doing OT and with Ignition is nice to have everything contained in the same pane of glass. And so we developed the MQTT Distributor module, which runs as an MQTT server on Ignition itself. So you don't need to actually deploy a separate server, and it runs as that broker for you in those types of architectures. The last module is the MQTT engine module. This is kind of the opposite of the transmission module. It is where it subscribes to MQTT data, whether it's Sparkplug or it could be custom data from a custom topic. And it'll enable you to create tags within Ignition at a hub and spoke architecture to basically utilize all the data coming from the data producers, from all the edge devices into a central system that then can be deployed to other applications that we'll discuss further in this webinar. So as we're talking about digital transformation and how Travis was saying data is king, I also like to say data connectivity is king and is critical. So, Ignition is a very important component of this at the edge to provide a tool set that allows you to connect to your data producers at the edge and allow that data to be built into models. So when you're looking at most of our implementations from different companies, they'll have multiple factories. These factories are been installed at different times. They'll have different types of equipment, different PLCs, and different data producers. So core to that is a platform like Ignition that allows you to connect to all these data assets. And the connectivity is critical. So you might be databases, it might be other MQTT components, it could be an OPC server that you're connecting to. But all of this needs to go to a platform that can provide that data connectivity and do the transformation of that data into a data standard that fits your digital transformation journey. And this is where you build models or UDTs of that data that you want to push outbound to an MQTT server, and then have all that metadata and all that data abstraction layer be benefited upstream to all your applications. And this is what Ignition does, and MQTT provides that foundation to publish those models. And then once published, it provides the efficiency of sending the data as data changes are happening. So to make this happen, to make the digital transformation journey be built, you need a data pipeline. And as Travis stated and Benson was stating, it needs to be built on open standards. MQTT is open. It's used and billions of devices in all types of applications. It's very simple to implement. So that's a starting point, and it's basically a pub-sub architecture. And so what MQTT is key in providing, the decoupling of the data. So today you might have one application that's subscribing the data and everything's working fine. But as we've seen the new invention of different AI components, you know, Chat GPT and other things, you might have other consumers of this data that you don't even know about. So you need to be able to have that data easily consumable by multiple applications, and a pub-sub architecture that allows you to publish data, a one-to-many scenario, is key to this, and this is what MQTT provides. The second scenario is the importance of security. Needing data to be securely delivered is critical in any OT application. And as MQTT is an outbound connection from your lower level, let's say the factory floor, to a upper level as a data center or a hub architecture, it's an outbound TLS connection that is secure and encrypted. So you don't have to have any ports open on the factory floor and allow the data to be pushed in a secure and encrypted manner. Another key component that MQTT provides with the advantation of Sparkplug is very efficient communication. So once you send the data up and you want to publish the data, you want to be able to publish it in an efficient manner. And doing report by exception technologies with MQTT provides data efficiency, so you're not sending all the data all the time like you would do in a poll response network. You're only sending data that's being changed based upon your deadbands you set on ignition and the scan rates that you're scanning your data. So it's very, very efficient, which can be cost effective when implementing these new strategies of consumptions of applications in the higher level side of the digital transformation. Now, in order to do this digital transformation, and what we've developed and provided to the marketplace is Sparkplug. And Sparkplug is a standardization of using MQTT, meant for this purpose. The nice thing about MQTT and its ease of use is that you typically can publish any topic with any type of data. You can publish waveforms, you can publish XML, JSON, any kind of byte arrays. The payload is agnostic. You can send anything. The problem with that, it doesn't allow for self-awareness and efficiency use, or actually be able to learn stuff on the fly without explicitly knowing what the topic is and what the payload is. So in order to bypass this, Cirrus Link developed Sparkplug with our 25 years of experience of OT environments MQTT as a foundation of delivering data in OT environments for digital transformation and operations. It's an open standard, it's an ISO standard, and it provides the foundation to basically self-learn and self-aware as a new site comes along or as you change it. It's an auto-discovery mechanism on MQTT. So if I'm a host and a new site comes online and it publishes, you basically learn all the data, all the models, everything on the fly, and it allows that digital transformation to happen. So the self-learning auto-discovery is critical. It also provides a stateful management mechanism that knows that the device is online in case of outages for OT operations. And the last thing it does provide that foundation to do the unified namespace enablement. So as you build out your data models within Ignition and your folder structures that might follow the ISA 95 model of enterprise, site, level, core area, those same levels can be put into your Ignition folder structures, of which all that UNS structure is sent along with Sparkplug, so that as the applications are subscribing to this data, they know exactly where it came from and it's self-described of its data. So the UNS is enabled through MQTT and Sparkplug. So we look forward to any questions at the end, and thank you for attending this presentation. Back to you, Travis.